Hey, Grace Fellowship, Caleb here. I hope this video finds you doing well. Um, I know a lot of our lives have been shaken up over the past few weeks. I miss you guys. I miss gathering together for meals and for worship. I miss shaking your hands and giving you hugs, and I'm looking forward to the time when we can be together again. That'll be a joyous day. Um, as all of our lives have been shaken up, we've recently become homeschool parents, and so one of the things that assignments that I gave Ryan, our oldest son, was to read part of the book, The Little Pilgrim's Progress, every day. And Pilgrims, it's based on John Bunyan's famous book, The Pilgrim's Progress, just made it a little easier for kids. And he wrote that book when he was imprisoned for holding worship services that weren't sanctioned by the Church of England. And it was during his imprisonment, sometime between 1660 and 1672, that he wrote his famous book, which finally was published in 1678. 25 years after that, there was a baby born by the name of Jonathan Edwards. And Jonathan Edwards would go on to become one of America's greatest pastors, theologians, and philosophers. But he picked up on this theme, and that was a major theme of his ministry as well. And he wrote this in one of his sermons. The title of his sermon was The Christian Pilgrim. He wrote this: "We should travel on in the way of obedience to all God's commands, even the difficult as well as the easy, denying all our sinful inclinations and interests. The way to heaven is ascending. We must be content to travel uphill, though it be hard and tiresome and contrary to the natural bias of our flesh." And now, as I was contemplating this idea, this theme of the Christian life on this earth as a journey to a final destination, it made me think of a section in the Psalms known as the Psalms of Ascent, Psalm 120 through Psalm 134. And these would be songs that God's people would sing as they would travel to Jerusalem in order to worship God in his temple. And the temple was a place for God's people that represented what we as Christians most look forward to in our eternal home, in the life to come, which is God's presence. Jerusalem and the temple specifically was the place that for God's people symbolized their ultimate home, the new creation, where God in all of his fullness would dwell, as he would dwell with his people. And this idea of our lives as a journey should bring us great hope, because we're reminded that no matter what trials, challenges that we face as Christians, no matter what earthly threats we face during our journey, God has promised his people that we will arrive safely at home one day. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 through 5. So I want to invite you during the next 2 weeks, beginning this Sunday and leading up to and finishing on Easter Sunday, to join the Grace Fellowship family in reading these Psalms of Ascent together. And my prayer is that we might cultivate our longing for our true and eternal home. Because when we finally arrive at our new home, in the new heavens and the new earth, the glory of God will be ours to enjoy to the full. And that is what our hearts truly long for. The greatest joy in our lives, the greatest blessings that we can experience in this life. Edwards wrote this about that. He said, "Those are but shadows, but God is the substance. Those are but scattered beams, but God is the sun. Those are but streams, but God is the fountain. Those are but drops, but God is the ocean. And so we should eagerly long for home as we travel this journey to our eternal destination, which is life everlasting with the living God, filled with joy. And so I plan to post a short video each day on Facebook, along with maybe a question or two to provoke some discussion. And I want to invite you to share your thoughts on there, to share your encouragements, your struggles, your prayers. And I hope this will be an avenue for us as a church family to stay in community and to stay in fellowship as the body of Christ, even as we try to practice social distancing. So I invite you to join us and to keep a lookout for those videos coming your way. God bless.